The question of the day, folks, is, are you ready for an oil change? We continue in the Gospel of Matthew. And now we look at the first 13 verses of the 25th chapter. It's the parable of the virgins. The 10 virgins, 5 wise and 5 foolish. Now you need to know that there was a little bit of work involved in the maintenance of light in those days, and it wasn't much of a light. We have samples of the lamps from that time, and they're little earthenware, shallow bowls with a hole coming out in which a wick, a braided wick, would be inserted. And the oil was olive oil, which doesn't give a very bright light. It's smoky, it's dim, and keeping those things going was a major chore. Jesus is talking about this mysterious entity, this kingdom of heaven. And he melds that imagery of the kingdom of heaven with the image of the bridal banquet, the great meeting of God and man, which will be our lot if we follow the one who says, "Follow me." That will be our experience, a great, great unending celebration. But that requires some openness, some readiness, some willingness to heed and listen to the call. And Jesus says that call is one which expects to find us waiting and prepared and ready. And he uses the imagery of the lamp, the oil. What is the oil in your lamp? I think it's fairly obvious. The light that comes from our lives is a direct reflection of the light of Christ. And the oil which fuels that light is prayer, the study of the Word, the sacraments of the Church. All of those things go into filling up the reservoir of oil in the lamps of the light which we are called to bring into the world. Jesus says, you are the light of the world. You must not hide your light. They may see by your light the goodness of the one who has given you that light. So Jesus says you can't just coast along. Like the wise virgins, you must have your own oil. You must have taken care of your lamps. You must be immersed in a life of prayer. You must be close to the one who is the light of the world. You must read his words. You must do his deeds. You must consume his body and blood. And then your light will shine. But if you want to take a shortcut, if you want to do it all on your own, you'll run out of oil. You'll have nothing in your lamps. And when you are called, as we all will be called one day, to give an accounting of ourselves, to enter into the banquet hall, some of us will have our lamps ready, and others, having given no thought, no effort, no awareness to the maintenance of the light of their lives, will be found wanting. There is no place in the banquet for dark lamps. There is no place in the banquet for any darkness of any sort. And so to enter into that banquet, we must be ready. We must be ready. God expects us to be ready. for that hour that we know not, when we will be called into the banquet hall. Do we have our lamps trimmed? Do we have our oil ready? Have our lives become filled with the light of Christ? All of us must ask ourselves that question, not just occasionally, but all the time, from action to action, from day to day. Amen.